Hashem, we're going to be going through our Purim learning in B'yam Darkecha. 2 different chapters today. One is the importance of the prayers on this holy, holy day of Purim. And the second, if you stay tuned, will be fighting Amalek, B'ezrat Hashem. And what does that entail? How do we do it? How do we erase Amalek? How do we erase their hold? And what is their whole inyan at all? So, first things first on the prayer. It's known the power of the prayer on Yom Purim. Right? The king says to Esther, what is your request and I will give you. All prayers are received on this day. In a special, unique way. All the prayers are accepted in this unique way, like the rabbi said, in the special idea of Purim, that is, kol poshet yad notnim lo. Anybody who puts their hand out, you give them. Ki gadol koach hatfila bayom hazeh. The power of prayer is very powerful in this day. Ki hatfila והתשוקה והבקשה היא הגורמת שהשם יתברך ייתן לנו את האור וההשראה האלוקית להכיר בייחוד השם יתברך בשלמות. The prayer, that connection, that tefillah, is what causes Hashem to give us the light, the godly dwelling, the godly presence on us, to recognize in the unity of Hashem completely. The more a person asks to be close to Hashem, and a person seeks out recognizing and knowing the unity of Hashem and His reality, so too, the more you ask for it, the more you're dealing with, the more you're going to get it, the more it's going to be revealed to you. Who's Hashem going to give the light to? Someone who appreciates it, and someone who's trying to get it, someone who longs for it, who wants it. Therefore, on this holy day, we need to ask, right? We need to ask Hashem, allow me to pick good. Allow me to pick good things in life. And to beg Hashem, show me the proper path in front of you. Show me the proper path I need to go, and me specifically to serve you. That we all merit to recognize the unity of Hashem. And specifically that we merit to attain the true light of the Torah. Which is learning for the sake of heaven, meaning learning the Torah in order to connect to Hashem, to connect my soul to Hashem, not just learning for wisdom in order to give a shiur, to have honor to it. Learning because Hashem's will is wrapped up in these holy words. We merit to pour out in conversation and dialogue in front of Hashem every single day in our personal prayers. That they are the keys to all of the services of Hashem that you could think of. Learning Torah Lishma, learning Torah in order to learn Torah, in order to the sake of connecting to Hashem, and also praying to Hashem with your own prayers, talking to Him all day long. We need to remember, even on Purim itself, is dwelling on every single Jew, the light from the most supernal, loftiest worlds possible. And this light is illuminating up for the person, and allowing the person and showing the person how to see the unity of Hashem in everything. That's not enough. But you have to make vessels. In order to, you want to have this light for the whole entire year, you have to make vessels. In order for that, you have to increase the amount of times you pray and how much you pray. That this light will stay for us for our whole entire life. So these are the importance of the 3 prayers on Purim. A lot of the light of Purim, majority of the light of Purim, comes down during the prayers. The 3 prayers of Purim is a time when a lot of shefa comes down, right? You have to understand what this means. From the Torah Chacham, he explains, according to the Rashash, right, the main student of the Rashash, that there's two kinds of shefa that comes down in general in the year. The shefa that's called the shefa yamim, the abundance of days, and there's shefa that comes down every single day according to its own individual day, and then there's shefa zmanim, and then there's the shefa of the times, which is shefa that comes down only on holidays, right? And since these three prayers in Purim are so lofty, it's obviously then it's a given how much we have to invest in them, right? A wise person, his eyes are in his head, to take advantage of these times of prayer, and not to go through them quickly, in order to speed up, to quickly go out to do matanot levyonim, to do your suda, to get drunk, to do all these things. Don't rush through your prayers. Pray in a place that you're going to be able to take your time and have kavanah like you should, in a proper fitting way. It's good that you should learn a little bit of Torah before any tefillah as a preparation for your tefillah. And also after you finish praying, you should learn. In order to guard the light that you just received, make a vessel, learn first, pray. Learn again. Always be making vessels to keep the light that you're bringing down. And like we learned in the whole chapter in Tefillah, what is Tefillah? The main thing of Tefillah is bringing down mochid, bringing down the intellect to be able to see Hashem and everything. But that's a light. That's a light, so you have to put it into vessels, right? Our main request has to be that we ask that in our eyes of our flesh, that we be able to see Hashem. Right? Not only are we asking to get godliness, we also want to ask for everything that we need in life. We have to understand this. On a day that we have so much clarity in emunah, we feel that everything is godliness on Purim. So what should I be praying for? I see how everything's good. I see everything's purely good on Purim. So what am I lacking? What am I really praying for on a day like that? Even though a person knows that everything's from the chesed of Hashem and he feels that everything's for the good, still in that situation, you have to ask Hashem that He reveal Himself in His full mercy. Until the honor of His kingship is revealed. Without any lacks at all. When there's hardships, God forbid, for a Jew, then externally, when there's a lack for a Jew, then externally, then there's some kind of lack in the honor of heaven. Therefore we pray and we ask to complete this lack that we have, right? And this is what we find by Mordechai Tzaddik, that on one side is all the time resting in emunah, all the time dealing with emunah, right? Like I said, Ish Yehudi, they call him Ish Yehudi. He went against all the Avodah Zarah and all of the concealments of the world. And he stayed clinging to his emunah to see everything the love of Hashem. On the other side, he was praying all the time, like they called Mordechai Ish Ben Kish, right? Ben Kish is the son of Kish. What is Ben Kish? Al Shem Shi Kish Al Daltei Rachamim. Why? Because Lakish in Hebrew is to knock. Why is he called Ben Kish? Because he knocked on the on the doors of mercy. So on the one hand, he's emunah. On the other hand, he's constantly praying that the mercy will be revealed into the world more and more and more.
Heaven's door?
Huh?
Knocking
I'm knocking on heaven's door, exactly. On this level, the special level we get to there on Purim, because on this day, you have illumination in the heart of every single Jew, the truth of the unity of Hashem with a great light, and this drills into you until the Jew screams out, reveal the honor of your kingship without any concealments. Rule over the whole entire world in your honor. Therefore we have to ask and we have to request from Hashem on everything that we're lacking, and for your friends. Even though you know everything's good, You need to scream out and you need to request that the greatness will be completely revealed, even in our physical eyes. This is the main reason why all of the prayers are accepted on this day. Because on this day everything's for the sake of heaven. All the requests on the day, all of the prayers on the day are only to reveal the honor of Hashem in the world. Even if it's not in perfection, it's not the proper way. Right? Even though it's not perfect, you might be a little bit drunk, there's noise in the shoulders, this, that, and the other, right? Even though that's the case, Hashem loves it when a Jew is praying and is able to do some kind of action in order for the sake of Hashem, in order for the honor of Shemaim. So Hashem, that's the first chapter we were going to go through on prayer, and now we're going to go into a little bit of a longer chapter on defeating Amalek, and it's done by way of an internal connection to Hashem. What is the plan? What is the strategy of Amalek? It's to separate the internal heart from the actions. Right? It's the main thing is to cool down our Torah, to take away from anything that we're doing the internal aspect of it, right? The inner neshama in all of our actions. Meaning, Amalek allows and agrees for us to learn Torah, and he has no problem that we'll do mitzvot. But he wants that your service of Hashem will be in a cold way. Everything will be external, without any internal aspect, without any acquisition of kirvat Elokim, without any closeness to Hashem. And it tries its best to push a person away from learning the deeper aspects of Torah. Meaning, it tries that even if a person does learn Torah, they'll learn without clinging, without dveikut to the giver of the Torah, meaning Hashem. And they're going to do mitzvot without connecting to the person that commanded them to do that mitzvah. And the main point of his path is Amalek's main thing is to come to confuse the person, to make him think that as if there's something besides the Creator. On one hand, Amalek recognizes the reality of Hashem and the unity of Hashem. But he causes a person to forget and to think, to be confused that there's other things in the world. There is Hashem, but there's also this, right? And this is revealed by way, he wants you to do the mitzvot, as external actions, without any connection to emotional connections to Hashem, and the internal aspects of the Torah, meaning the life force of person, the vitality. Then once your vitality and everything that's giving you, some kind of good feeling, to come from the external things of this world, to come from other things. He knows that by way of you dealing with other things and taking pleasure and getting life and vitality from other things, they'll lose their internal connection to the Creator, blessed be He. This mistake is the root of all of the klipot, all of the husks in life. Their whole entire thing is just to trick you, just to confuse you. As if they have some reality themselves as well. As if they have good and they have pleasure in them as well, and benefit for you. The truth is, that's not the case. Internally, really, the truth is, no creation at all has any power and any ability by itself. Everything that appears that the creation has any kind of power, it's really the power and the light of Hashem that is being brought down at any moment. Ki rak hu yitbarach hakoach hamiti. He's the only power, the only true power at all. Ve'en netinat koach kayam, koach atzmi lenivraim. The ability to have power for itself, a being to have its own power, was never given to any of the creations. They are brought into existence and renewed at any given moment. Because even after creation, everything is still only the light of Hashem. Like we say in the tefillah, in the prayers, you are one up until you didn't create the world, and you are one since you created the world. Therefore, the case must be that there's no such thing as good besides Hashem. Because the klipot, the creations, the cover-ups, they have no power themselves, and they have no life force from themselves. Then it could only be that it belongs to Hashem. Then I should receive my life force, my vitality, only from Him. Therefore, the throne is not complete until Amalek will be wiped out. The seat is the aspect of the revelation of Hashem inside the creations, to see that there's no power besides Him. And there's no such thing as anything besides Hashem anyway. By way of Netzach, you can overcome Amalek and all of his attempts to coolden us down, to cool us down. The war against Amalek is specifically on Purim. Purim is this midah of Netzach, victory, of perseverance, of tenacity. It's the only tool that we really have, in actuality, in practicality, to fight Amalek with. Netzach is holy brazenness, holy chutzpah. And it's the only thing that can stand up against the foolishness and the clownness of Amalek. Shu netzach de klipa, which is the netzach of the klipa. Dainu shekeneged the kriut shel Amalek, meaning in correspondence to the coldness. There's a whole explanation here of what is leitzanut, of what is foolishness and trickery and clowning. Let's go into it. I don't know. Right? We see from Mordechai, right? Netzach, right? The idea is tenacity, and the person feels the love of Hashem. He needs to know that it's the reality in his hand is just stay in the truth, that it's all the power of Netzach, it's all from Hashem. And I can stand against any klipa, including Amalek, including all the foolishness and the trickery that he has, even when it's above the intellect. Because I'm fighting with holy chutzpah. And then, right, what are they trying to do? The Chazal say that Amalek jumps inside the burning jacuzzi just to cool it down a little bit for everybody else. Right? That's like one of the mashals that they give on Amalek. Mordechai Tzaddik, he brought emunah into all of Am Yisrael until they got to the level of Hadar Kiblu Ba'ava. They returned and they received the Torah out of love. So to all the tzaddikim, they brought this light of truth, this light of emunah into the hearts of the Jews. Because the main thing of the tzaddikim is to reveal emunah and to drill this deeper work into us. Throughout all the generations, they were against them. Anybody who was was working for Hashem, there was clowns that came against them, right? Like we had in Korach, and after that you had all the people that they all came and they were making foolish jokes of Moshe Rabbeinu. The truth is so clear to the souls of Israel. You can never stand against them with a logic, right? You can't come against the Torah with logic. Therefore, the opposer of the Torah, the opposer of the leaders and the tzaddikim of the truth, they can only come with foolishness, with like a mockery, with like a joking sense of it, right? Is this unique power. What does a joke do? Has the ability to distract the mind from the truth for a little bit, without showing any other side, without showing the other side. The depth is שבעוד שכל מיני הרע יש להם איזה שיטה ודעת, ואף שדעתם היא טעות, אבל לפחות הם חושבים שיש להם משהו, right? Any negative side, they come with this whole plan and this whole like explanation of their path and their approach, right? And it sounds like they have some kind of, like, oh, there's something here, like they presented a good case, but like really it's, the whole thing is just nonsense. Like the whole thing is nonsense. There's like one line of like structure there that allows them to present it, but if you really look at it, the whole thing is nonsense, right? אבל הליצן אין לו דעת, אין לו דעה. A fool has no consciousness, והוא לא טוען כלום, and he can't make any real claim. אלא כל עניינה של הליצנות הוא להשפיל את האמת. The whole entire thing that he's coming to do is just to push down the truth, to get rid of the truth, בלי להעמיד צד אחר, without bringing any other side to his point. והיא דוגלת בכלום. The foolishness, the trickery, the mockery, right? It doesn't really promote anything. והעצם היא סוברת שלא צריך דת בכלל. It says like I don't need any consciousness at all. ולזה אין פתרון. There's no solution to this. Because whoever is looking for dat, whoever is looking for consciousness, then even if you make a mistake, you have a chance that in the end you're going to get to the truth. Because at your core you're looking out for truth. Then there's a way that I can come to explain to you, to convince you, to try to get you to see what's going on. Right? If you're really looking for truth, then there's a way I can get into you. The fool, the clown, he doesn't say I have a different opinion. His whole entire thing is just to make a mockery and to bring down the importance of the truth. Without bringing any other side to this opinion. For this, there's nothing we can do. Because he's not looking for the truth. He's just saying that there is no truth. And a person like that, it's not even worth it to try to explain to him. The fool is sure that everything's empty. Right? Like nothing has dat. Everything's without dat. Like it says, the rabbis explain that a leitzan, a fool, he'll push away 1,000,000 rebukes. People come, tell him, listen, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this. Tell them a list of 100 things that they did wrong. The fool pushes the whole entire list away. Meaning he's not even willing to take one thing of, okay, maybe I did that wrong, I should work on that. Right? Like nothing. Why? Because if I make a mockery out of everything, then like there's nothing that can go into me. So that's what the rabbis say already 2,000 years ago. A fool, you tell him 100 things he did wrong, he doesn't even accept any of them. None of them he's willing to take on. So when it gets back to Amalek, the coldness of Amalek, this lack of internal connection, you have to heat it up. So you have to heat yourself up with the power of emunah and loyalty to Hashem. You have to be strong with your kedusha, very disciplined. We get this by way of the great revelation of Purim. The whole and unified light is revealed in Purim. This light erases the mistakes of Amalek. Because it's revealed that there's nothing besides Hashem Yitbarach. And it's not like the words of Amalek that says, no, there's Hashem, but there's also alcohol, there's also this, there's also that, right? No, there's just Hashem. This is the main erasing of Amalek. The main success of Amalek is that the light of the Torah and the mitzvot, the godly light that's there, is concealed. And a person doesn't really attain godliness and the light of Hashem when he's coming to do a mitzvah and coming to learn Torah. By way of this, there's now a separation between the internal aspect and the external aspect. By way of the light of Purim, by way of the light of Purim, we are all protesting and erasing Amalek. With a great, loud voice, we scream out with passion and with life and vitality. We smack our hands and we say, Yesh lanu chelek pnimi, chelek chayim im Hashem Yitbarach. We have an internal aspect to us. We have a portion of us that is living with Hashem. Lo kedavar chitzoni chas v'shem. And we see it not as something external thing, God forbid. Elanu chaim oto, we're living with Hashem. V'rak ito, and only with Hashem. Ki hu etzem mitziut habriya, because Hashem is the source of and the core of the whole entire reality of the creation. V'hu kol hachaim shlanu, is our whole entire life. V'anu amodim al ha'emet hazot b'achshanut u'mesirut nefesh, and we're standing on this truth with tenacity and complete self-sacrifice. This is what you have to intend when you're doing the mitzvah of erasing Amalek on Shabbat Zachor and on Purim. To erase the coldness of Amalek, of the work of Amalek. And to not agree to serve Hashem only externally without any internal connection. This is rooted in thought, God forbid. Yesh od varim, it's rooted in the thought, God forbid, that there's other things in the world that you're able to receive vitality and pleasure from. Rather, you have to go into with passion in the service of learning Torah and to praying and doing mitzvot, mitoch chiyut pnimiyut, with an internal vitality, mitoch hakara amitit she'en od milvado, from an internal recognition, a true recognition that there's nothing besides Hashem Yitbarach. There's no pleasure and gain in it for me from anything else besides Hashem. Only to take complete pleasure in Hashem Yitbarach, Be'ezat Hashem. And with this, may we all go into Purim ready to to be ready to erase Amalek and to go deeper and deeper. And just one last idea here. In order to cancel out Amalek, you have to bring down light from the Keter, which is the secret of Mesirut Nefesh, the secret of self-sacrifice, of really giving yourself over. Just like Amalek acts above Sechel, so too we have to act opposing to him above intellect. With complete self-sacrifice above any reason and any consciousness. How do we get self-sacrifice? By contemplating very, very strongly on the reality of Hashem and His light. Until you come to true Mesirut Nefesh, true self-sacrifice. And therefore, Mordechai sat in the gate of the king. What does sitting mean? Sitting shows I'm delaying myself here, I'm staying here, and I'm contemplating. By way of this, he managed to get to the crown, to the keter, the koach mesirut nefesh, which is the ability to self-sacrifice, to give over for myself. And he overpowered, he overcame, and was victorious against Haman. Afterwards, though, the madrigat ha'ashra'ah. After that, we have to go from mesirut nefesh, from self-sacrifice, to the level of ashra'ah, the level of the light dwelling upon us. To contemplate and acquire the light of the godly supernal light that's resting upon you, and to be a vehicle for this light, the light of the Shekhinah. And by way of you feeling the light that's dwelling on you, you recognize with perfectionness, with completion, the light of Hashem, the unity of Hashem. And then you get to and then you get to a full hatred of Amalek, which is the goal, that we have to hate him in our heart, to get away from him. Right? The more godliness you have dwelling upon you, the more kedusha you have, more sanctity you have, therefore the more you hate the bad. And it's like an abomination to you, it's disgusting to you. You recognize and you feel more how bad the bad really is. This is not the case for someone who works from just a place of taking upon himself the yoke of heaven. Even though you know the truth, the person doesn't really feel it until the end. Siyata Dishmaya, Purim Sameach, all the Yeshuot, B'ezrat Hashem.